So there are three parties in the dropshipping. The first is the supplier of the product. The second is the middleman. And the third is the buyer. So who is the buyer? The buyer is the person who wants to buy something. So let's say this buyer wants to buy iPhone. So he will search on the internet for the iPhone, and then he will see the list of the websites. And this is where the middleman comes into the picture. So middleman will have a website that will have the iPhone listed. So iPhone price, features and details and everything, that he will try to list the details of the iPhone so that he can sell it to the buyer. And what will happen is, when this buyer wants to decide, he decide to buy the iPhone, and then he makes the purchase to the middleman through the website. The money will send to the middleman. So let's say $1,000 he will pay to the middleman, and then middleman will check the details of the buyer, his address, his shipping details, and then he will contact the supplier that here is the buyer and he needs an iPhone. So let's say the supplier is the Apple company, and Apple will take the payment from the middleman, and then it will ship the iPhone to the middleman. So there are three parties in the drop shipping. One is the supplier. So there are three parties in the drop shipping. One is the supplier. The second is the middleman who is doing the drop shipping. And third is the buyer who wants to purchase an item. So let's say this buyer wants to buy an iPhone. So he will go to the internet, and then he will visit couple of the website, which will be the website from one of the middlemans. And the middleman's website will have the details of the iPhone, its price and details. And then buyer will make a payment to the middleman, and middleman will take the buyer's shipping details, and then he will send those details to supplier, like an Apple computers. So what the supplier will do, supplier will directly ship the item to the buyer, because he will have the purchaser, who is the buyer's shipping address, and he will also have the money paid by the middleman. So in this case, what the middleman will do is, he will take this 1,000 and then he will tell the supplier that I have the money, and then he will pay some money. So let's say $800 to the supplier, and he will keep the profit. Or in some cases, supplier gets the full amount, and at the end of the day, supplier sends some commission to the middleman for selling the iPhone. So middleman doesn't have to keep an inventory to store the items. He just have to take the money from the buyer and the shipping address and send it to the supplier, so that supplier can send the product to buyer. So the middleman gets the commission. That's how it is. Thank you very much.